Hi, this is Pastor Luke. I'm Atlanta, Georgia True Family Community Center. Today I interview one of the church congregations. His name Mark Collins. He diagnosed cancer stage 4. I interviewed it last December, 3 months ago, when he was still energetically can talk. So he asked me, Pastor Luke, please interview me. I want to put your YouTube channel. And he said he want to create his YouTube channel. He's so excited to put up his experience for the public. So please listen his interview. Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Rev.Luke?
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Mark Collins, and this is my wife, Kazuko. And I'm American, and she's Japanese. I was born in Virginia, but I did much of my growing up in Georgia, and I live and have lived on and off in Atlanta for quite some time. And so I do consider myself more from Georgia than from Virginia.
I see. Thank you. So how do you make our movement?
Yeah, so back in 2004, I had just moved to Atlanta. And at that time, I was a truck driver whose responsibility was to teach new drivers coming to work I worked for one of the largest trucking companies in America at that time. And my job was to teach new drivers that were, they had gone through truck school and earned their CDL, but they needed to learn how to be professional drivers and how to be successful and safe. And so my job was to teach them how to be efficient and timely and safe in their driving skills, and also to help them improve their skills. So early on, a gentleman by the name of Boniface Mabuso got on my truck. And he's originally from Zambia, but he had moved to the U.S. and he had been here several years. And so he was just starting to drive a truck back then. And so my job was to teach him how to do that successfully. And because I learned that he was from Atlanta, he was the first student that I had that was from Atlanta. All the rest of them were from other parts of the country. And my family, both my father's side and mother's side, are are Christians with very strong faith, so they're strongly rooted in their Christian belief. And so I grew up with that. So being as a young adult, I would sometimes get away from church and then come back, and then get away from it and come back. And But I was driving a truck, and all I was doing was working. And I really felt I wanted to join a church in Atlanta. And I really enjoy going to Sunday morning service and hearing good music. And I like a good service. It recharges you. So you go through so much negativity in life, but church is an opportunity to come and get some spiritual nutrition and to recharge, and to remember that there are lots of good people in the world, and lots of reasons to think positively. So I wanted to join, and I asked Boniface, do you know a good church in Atlanta? And of course, many drivers, they don't go to church, so I didn't know what he would say. But he was very happy to say, yes, I know a great church. And so the next time we had an opportunity to be off in Atlanta, we went to church together. And back then, this church was called Atlanta Family Church. And so, of course, I was thinking a Christian church. And though this is very tightly woven with Christianity, it does have some different beliefs from traditional Christian belief. And so when I first came here, the thing that I really liked, that really helped me to join the church, was how friendly everyone was. There was all kinds of people from all over the world, and I just loved that. I mean, literally from France, Germany, England, Korea, Japan, several countries from Africa, even a woman from Belarus, and just all these different people and cultures, and of course Black Americans and white Americans, and they were all here. And even the church hierarchy, the number one leader was a Korean man, and the number two leader was a Reverend Kasango from the Republic of Congo. And then the number three position minister was Reverend Tom Cutts, which is American. And so even the hierarchy of the church was this highly diverse group. And I really liked that. And I've always liked meeting people from different cultures and who speak different languages and all that. So I really embraced the church because of how friendly everyone was, hugging me. Reverend Mrs. Kasango came up and just put her arms around me, and everyone was so friendly to me. So I really liked that. And the two main things I was wanting to do back then when I joined the church was, number one, I wanted a place to go to get my spiritual nutrition, to get my recharge. And but I also was in my late 30s, and I'd never been married, and so I was wanting to meet a good woman. But it was very, very, very important to me that I met a woman who was going to be committed to the marriage, because I wanted to marry once and I never wanted to marry again. I didn't want to get divorced, and I knew no matter what I did, there was no guarantee. But I wanted to at least do everything that I could to make sure that I was marrying the kind of woman that would be similar to me, and that we would both be devoted to the marriage, and making sure that the marriage survived, even through the difficult times. So when I learned about the church and the fact that Unification movement, one of the major things about it is that it's rooted in the family. That is the whole concept of unificationism, is the family unit. And it's that God wanted to establish a family on earth, and He wants each of us to establish a family. And and even international marriages are good because it helps bring the world together in a way. You know, it's hard when you love your spouse, and your spouse's family come to know that you're a decent person. It's hard for them to hate you, even if their culture traditionally does hate your people. As a matter of fact, when I first told my mother that I was dating a Japanese woman, she told me, "Don't you know they tried to kill us in World War II?" So, and even my wife's family told her, "Are you sure this is not some kind of trick? Is he trying to trick you?" And so our families didn't trust my family didn't trust Japanese, and my wife's family didn't trust Americans. And but several months later, after my mother got a chance to meet my wife, she said, "Mark, I was mistaken. She's a perfect wife for you." So that was the big change, you know. And even now, I have many. We recently went to a Thanksgiving event with my family, and everyone talked about my wife and how nice she is and how much they liked her, and they loved her. They loved her more than me, and I'm their family. So yeah, that was how I came to join the church. Is that I really enjoyed the friendliness of the church. I love the diversity of the church, and some of the concepts, although they don't follow mainstream traditional Christianity, I thought they were more correct than the traditional thoughts. Because even mainstream Christianity won't deny that family is the root of everything. Everything starts there. And if we could build strong family units, then the world would be a better place.
Thank you. Wow, thank you. So how do you, everything you studied, very happy now relationship, and then you, how I heard you was living together in Japan, and then you moved to here. Can you talk about the why you moved here, before move here, how was that life in Japan?
Yeah, so we met and eventually married in America, and we lived here for a while, just in Lawrenceville, so which is a suburb of Atlanta, and we lived here. But every time my wife and I got into an argument, what I would find was that the problem was not us, it was the difference in culture and language that was causing us to argue. And so I just kept thinking, if I could go and learn more about my wife's culture, and if I could learn her language. Unfortunately, she learned my language better than I learned hers, and neither of us have really learned each other's language as much as we would like to. But still, we went thinking we would only, we decided, we talked, we went to a special event in Washington, D.C. With our movement. While at that event, I asked my wife, would you like to live and move to Japan? And she was very surprised because she had come to, once she married me, she thought that she would basically, just live in America and only go to visit in Japan. But she said, yes, I would like to go. And we thought we would go for a couple of years maybe. And that would give me time to meet her family, let her family know I wasn't tricking her. And her family embraced me, and I got along very well with the whole family. But we ended up staying there almost 13 years together. And so I was very fortunate. I went to work for a company where I was able to help support my family. Of course, I still needed my wife's help. She worked as well. But between the two of us, we were fine. We were living an average middle-class life with the two of us working. And so I was enjoying, there's lots to love about Japan. It's so clean and it's so safe. And most people are polite. Occasionally I would run into an unpolite Japanese person, but for the most part, they're very polite. And many of them very much like Americans now. So I enjoyed my time in Japan, and I honestly got to where I was thinking we may live there for the rest of our lives. But what happened was, after almost 10 years of working for the company I was working for, they went bankrupt, and so then I struggled to find work that paid enough money to really support us. So I needed to come back to America to work and to earn money. So the idea was that I would come back here and work long enough to establish myself here, so that I could then apply for my wife to come over and get her green card. And but before that happened, I was diagnosed with stage 4 advanced cancer. And so that kind of changed everything.
I see. So after that, what your many because of diagnostic cancer, you get some depression and but any many thinking internally difficult, but you overcame. So that's kind of recent. You are changing internal things. Can you?
Yes. So I feel there's two big reasons why I could defeat the depression of being told, look, you've got this advanced cancer that there's no medicine that can help you and you're going to die. Maybe a year or less, you're going to die. There's nothing we can do for you. That's pretty depressive. But the two main things that really helped me, and I think would help so many people in their lives, is number one, to have faith in God. When you have faith in God, you have somewhere and someone to go to and to speak to them and to tell them how you're feeling, and if you need God's help, help me, And the second thing is to have a strong relationship with your spouse. So, I think anyone who has a strong relationship with their spouse understands how important that is. When I got depressed and then my wife started talking about, I don't want you to die. I want to be on earth with you longer. That was like, as a man, you want to be your wife's hero, So I was like, take off and Superman, and okay, I'm going to defeat this cancer. It's not powerful enough for me. And yeah, I really felt that, her saying those words to me really inspired me and made me want to fight with all I have to survive and to live as long as possible. And I believe that through that desire and through that my own effort to fight, I believe God will work through me and help me to accomplish that. And I don't know what the future holds. None of us do. Any one of us could wake up tomorrow and something happen and we die. But I believe that I will outlive this cancer and that I will overcome it. And I really contribute that to my faith in God and my relationship with my wife.
So how effect the Rev. Moon teaches the divine principle help you overcoming the crisis?
Yeah, well, that's a good question I would probably need to think on deeply to give the best answer for. But but I think that the biggest thing is when it comes to a marriage, most modern marriages are based on what can the other person do for me. And the unification idea of marriage is what can I do for my spouse? So whenever you get angry with your spouse or you argue with your spouse, most Americans, for example, they will blame the other person, and they will think, this person needs to change their mind. But as unificationists, when we pray to God and we ask God, what can I do? God doesn't say, wait for your spouse to do something for you. God says, love them more, forgive them more, have more patience with them. So it's what you can do for them. And I think this builds a strong, powerful relationship with your spouse. And I really believe that connection, that two people that become one, become more powerful than the individuals on their own. And so I think that helps in every aspect of life, including my fight for cancer.
Wow, thank you so much. So what's your future plan? Yeah.
Well, what I would like to do is I'm on this journey with the cancer, and bringing my wife to America eventually, and I would like to start a blog and a YouTube channel, and I would like to let people know my progress and my ups and my downs as I go along the journey, so that people can learn that there's hope, that there's reason to have hope, and to believe that it's within your power, with God's help, to overcome, even when the doctors say, oh, you have only this length of time to live. No, they don't know. They just don't know how to help you. So they just say, okay, we can't help you, so you're not going to live very long. But with God's help and with my relationship with my wife, I'm going to take this journey, and I'm going to defeat the cancer, and I want to share my journey on my blog and my YouTube channel. And that's what my hope is for the future.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a great your vision. You live longer, for sure, because of God needs you. So
yes.
Testifying God, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Please conclude this.
Okay, so I just hope that my efforts through the blog and the YouTube channel are a blessing to those who watch it, and that it does encourage them. And it would bring me great joy to know that I have in some way, in some small way even, helped someone to have the courage and strength to fight through all the negativity that comes with being diagnosed with advanced cancer.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Colling, right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, how was his interview? He had passion to create his own YouTube channel. I helped him to making his other interview and then edit it for him. After the interview, 3 months later, he is in the hospice. We don't know when he go to the spiritual world. So I wanted to put this YouTube in my channel, and then I want to ask you to subscribe his channel. I put the part of description under this video. Please click link to see his first YouTube video. Please subscribe for him. I will update his YouTube channel as much as we could. Please click this icon and then watch his video continuously. Thank you for watching. Have a nice your life.